Hello, this is Michael W. Ford. Today's video is going to be from a post on my YouTube channel from an individual who had a question which I thought was something that required an answer and a little more explanation. This individual, and thank you if you're watching for that, wanted to know essentially the genesis of the left-hand path, its history, what brings it from my point of view, and do I have any advice for those who would want to embark on this path, where to start and what other elements would be useful based on my experience and what could help others experience. So let me first say that the concept of the left-hand path goes back to a Sanskrit concept called Vamra Marga, which means essentially left-hand path. And this was a opposite doing, trespassing boundaries, tantric type practice, and a veneration of the Shakti, or the Kundalini, the fiery, feminine, demonic aspect. Not in any sense good or evil, but to clarify and crystallize aspects of consciousness. Now in the 60s, Anton LaVey's Church of Satan and the Satanic Bible really set forth a foundation for left-hand path practice in liberating the self from restrictive beliefs, utilizing magic along with Aleister Crowley's to compel change in accordance with the will. There was also a major influence on myself named Charles Pace and his Necrominion, the Book of Shades, which was never published but was a manuscript. He was around in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s. And he really put forth the term Luciferian, from which the tradition that I'm involved with and cultivated celebrates his contributions and influences on my initiatory path. The Temple of Set, you have Michael Aquino, Don Webb, Stephen Flowers, even more recently Toby Chappell. Excellent definitions and cultivation and furtherment of what left-hand path is, and it's essentially a non-union, from a Luciferian perspective, a conscious, determined separation from the objective universe. And what that means is consciously you are aware that you are in your center of being, in your mind, in your soul, in your psyche, accountable to yourself and responsible for the things that you do, the path in life, the bad things, etc., as relative to your choices. So the right-hand path essentially is like mainstream religions, a choice to give yourself and unify yourself to the concept of oneness, and often to reject who you are, bad things about yourself, good things, etc., all these aspects, and to have this concept that you want to be one with something else in surrender. Now, Luciferianism, left-hand path, says, I want to liberate myself from restrictive thoughts, beliefs, dogmatic concepts that have long been ingrained in me from childhood on. Not just religion, but also in media, now social media, and all the propaganda that people use to influence the thoughts and attempt to affect the core beliefs of others. Now, a Luciferian understands that it's important to isolate the psyche, but also build up through consistency a manner of discipline, self-discipline, not self-denial or restriction, but disciplined, willed, focus of will, the mind, the power from the will and determined thoughts, words, and actions to shape one's reality, to cultivate a chosen path in life. And that process, while beginning within, becomes essentially an internal and external sort of alchemical transformation process, the isolation of the psyche. The model of this, on a very philosophical foundation level, is the adversary, or Lucifer, or Satan, the divine rebel, if you will. And Luciferianism as a philosophy, with my book Apotheosis, really lays out the steps for that. I encourage anyone to just read over that, because you're either going to identify with the philosophy or not. It's not a, we want to win you over. It's for those who identify and relate to the core philosophical foundations of Luciferianism, which I brought together from my experience in various left-hand path and traditional paths of Magick, Theurgy, Hermeticism, Thelema, Buddhism, all these different areas, and ancient pagan beliefs. My focus was what traits are related to the concept of the eternal rebel, the satanic spirit, Lucifer, and what are those common traits, and they're found in all different ancient, prior to monotheism, religions, and they reflect in many ways what we want to enhance ourselves, what we want to strive to become, all of the things that are balanced in our minds, what we think, what reality is, how do we shape those things. And I found that the core triad, if you will, is will, desire, and belief in unity with focus and your thoughts as energy, compelling this change to happen. That at its core is black magic, or Luciferian magic. That's initiation without uttering a prayer, ritual, or anything. That unity in moments of concentration, of passion, self-determination, are satanic or Luciferian in essence. Now, traditionally, Satanism is rebellion from restrictive beliefs, an awareness that we are carnal beings, and exploring life accordingly. Has nothing to do really with being selfish, other than being aware that you have one life and you have to make yourself happy and take care of those around you, your family, to the varying degrees that you have that influence and interaction. Each Luciferian is responsible to, essentially in their own unique way, whatever that is, to lead by example, no matter what it is that they do. If you do something, do it the best you can. maintain calm and control and determination towards your goals. You're going to have all sorts of things happen in the course of life. Try to shape how you perceive the things that happen. Control and shape what you can, and be the best individual you can. There are no cults of personality, or you have to be this way or this type. Luciferians, if identifying with that, self-identifying as Luciferian, then you are going to be a person who has flaws, who has great traits, but you want to overcome and strive to overcome the core, the major weaknesses. And if initiation and magic is something beyond just the philosophy, then that path goes according. The left-hand path is about awakening self-awareness consciousness and strengthening the psyche through repetition, the breaking of habits, and utilizing new habits that enforce, enhance, and support the course you wish to take in life. What you think for a new Luciferian, what you perceive the core concept to be, will allow you to, through will, go forward in life. However, as you go through what I call the triad of the morning star, liberation, illumination, apotheosis, and you base it on the four pillars of that really focus on power, balance, those type of things, then you are going to attain and sharpen skills throughout your life through the will. And this is a magical practice. If you're involved in the practice of various avenues of witchcraft, sorcery, or whatever falls under the umbrella of Luciferianism, an adaptation of that, then that should all support a rational, pragmatic side, and to enhance the inner spirituality, the subjective one, that connects with the imaginal, from which all things come and are in the cycle, if you will, of creation, destruction, creation, etc. All of these things are important. How you view Luciferianism and the core concepts a period of time after you have experience in utilizing left-hand path, Luciferian philosophy in life, it's going to reveal layers of what people call mystical knowledge, or gnosis. And you're going to understand things on different levels as you go forward. For those who are interested in learning more about the left-hand path, obviously and unshakably, I tell you the work Apotheosis. And I say that with bias because I've labored in this path for over 25 years and devoted so much to it and gained so much insight from the journey. Apotheosis, step by step, is the application of the philosophy and understanding the basis of left-hand path, initiation, magical practice. But also, I can recommend, for if you haven't, Satanic Bible, of course, works, a key left-hand path work, even though it's a little dated because it's from around the 90s and into the early 2000s, mid to late 2000s, but it's still crucial in history and all the things from Crowley, the Vamaragra, to Anton LaVey, to the Temple of Set, is Lords of the Left-Hand Path by Stephen E. Flowers, PhD. Lords of the Left-Hand Path is an essential work for the read. Also, Don Webb books are excellent. He has a lot. I like one of the old ones that I like regarding Temple of Set or Seti and Magic, Coptic, Hermeticism, etc. Seven Faces of Darkness, Don Webb is a good one. There are many studies that you can do regarding this. Thomas Carlson has a very deep academic left-hand path approach in his work, Thomas Carlson. There are many others, but right beside is, of course, my works. And Apotheosis is a fantastic place to start, and from there you just go and you can learn about the different ancient cultures and how those deific masks or pantheons fuel the traits and have core traits that are identified as Luciferian, and methods of which become tools of the practice of magic and a way to validate it according to your own design. So, thank you for watching this. If you like this video, like, subscribe, all that. Luciferian Apotheca has many left-hand path esoterica. It's an occult shop founded by myself and another in 2007. And my books are available in many different places. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, Banama Arama.